Good morning everyone. We've done a couple of shorts this morning just to show the path up here. So they tend to get a few more views. These videos haven't had many if any views at all, but we'll keep posting, we'll keep trying. So if anyone does actually watch these, thank you. If you don't, then I won't know if you like them or not. So why am I out? As I've said in my shorts, I set myself a combined target of 500k from Christmas Day to Christmas Day, starting and finishing on park run walking for raising money for Great Ormond Street and Macmillan Cancer. Excuse me, sounding a bit breathy. I decided to bring a cold back from my short holiday in France, where I was out there for the Longchamp and the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe racing with a couple of friends. Lovely break, and it's a nice environment to knock off a few of those final miles, kilometres. And here we are today, as I say, hopefully, if I've read my map right, having done this route several times, this should knock off the final 10k. We're out here in the Downs, in the peace and quiet of the country. It's that time of the year. The leaves are turning, the leaves are falling. Autumn is very much upon us. The clocks will change in a couple of weeks' time, and those darkness hours will fall upon us, unfortunately. But you just keep going. So hence why we're out making the most of the fairly mild weather for October, enjoying it while we can, making the most of it. So obviously these fields are obviously in that sparse period. As we come right here, as I say, I've done this walk many times. It's a lovely area to walk. Just walk past a lovely dog walker. People bring out their dogs. It's so quiet, and can have them on and off leads for a little bit. Just stretch their legs. There's one benefit out here in Hampshire and anywhere in the UK where you've got the rights to public paths to be able to come out and walk along these fields and make the most of it. You don't get it in quite a lot of countries, being able to walk along people's private land. You have to stay to the chosen paths and don't veer off obviously into crops and the grass and wherever they're growing. Obviously this is their livelihood, and we all know how hard it is to be a farmer anywhere really, but certainly in the UK. But we won't get into politics on here on a Sunday morning. Right here for a nice, I would say gentle walk, but I like to get a little bit of a pace going. Don't like to take it too slowly. Set myself targets, competitive with myself, to try and do these a little bit quicker, a little bit further each time. It's been quite nice this year, just doing lots of small walks. As I say, adding up to 500k. I did a 10 mile for a local hospice back in June, 10 miles at 10 p.m. As I'm sure those of you who live in the UK remember, June was rather warm, so doing that at 10 o'clock at night and it was still 19 degrees. It was quite a warm one. It's not a race, it's not a competition, but I set myself a target of doing it in around 2 hours, mainly because I just like to be in bed at a decent time. I managed to do it in, I think it's about 2 hours 20. A nice little walk, and came in first. And hopefully we'll go again next year, and just a little bit cooler, we'll try and go even quicker if we can. Like I say, it's not a race, it's just something I like to challenge myself with. Raise money for a lovely local hospice that helped both my grandparents near the end of their lives, unfortunately. But you know, you do what you can, as my old granddad said. Yeah, those of us who can, get out, stretch those legs. And for those of you who unfortunately can't, I hope that you can enjoy my inane ramblings and my videos out here in the countryside. I will stop talking at some point so you can enjoy the sounds of the countryside. It's Sunday the 12th of October, if I remember correctly. And I think between 9 and half 9. Unfortunately, I don't have my watch on, but as you see there's no public right of way through there. Some of these fields do have areas you can't walk. You can identify some of them with these selected footpath signs, and in some areas you'll find that certain ones have different coloured arrows depending on if you're doing a selected walk. But some areas will have different walks, different locations. Did a lovely walk a few months back in Whitchurch, which is lovely, beautiful weather, nice big loop, and of course a nice little cup of tea at the end, just make it all worthwhile. So I'm just going to stop talking for a little while so you can just enjoy the silence, or the sounds of the countryside, and probably the rustling of my coat, so I do apologise. Excuse my finger in that last shot. I do film these and upload them raw as they were as I filmed them, just so you can see exactly what I'm seeing and showing the walk as far as I can, making sure obviously that I don't get people in the shots, because when I'm out walking early on a Sunday they don't want to be filmed, so I'd always film as much as I can and for direct as I can without having to cut and chop and change into different videos. So yeah, been a lot of crunching under for, there's a lot of acorn fall this year, more than I ever remember, to be honest. There's also a lot of conkers have fallen. It's quite nice to see, even in 2025, children like my nephew 7 has been picking up the old conkers. Obviously back when I was younger, you'd have conker fights. You'd attach the conker on a piece of string and you'd try and smash conkers against each other in the playground to see who could win or smash the other conker. Of course there was those who would harden up the conkers, warm in or in the freezer, try and make sure that they did win. So it's nice to see some children still enjoying the free things in life, the country things in life, making the most of them. It doesn't involve too much screen time, which I know is ironic as I do film this for YouTube, and the one or two people that may or not watch it or get bored. So I do like to enjoy some YouTube videos myself, very much down a rabbit hole with Life at Tom, or Syndicate for those who go way back, who found purely by accident, but a man who's basically made his living through many means, but certainly ones where he's uploads videos of himself gaming. He now owns 110 acres of land and is doing his first pumpkin patch up in the Manchester Hyde area, that he's PRing himself as the worst pumpkin patch you'll ever go to. Sold out in 7 minutes. Amazing support from friends and family. So yeah, we wish him all the best, and you can certainly follow on with them at Life of Tom on YouTube and the 110 Farm on Instagram. If you enjoy the country life, seeing someone who's trying to make something, then definitely go and follow them. It's something he's doing by learning. Amazing support from local farmers and friends and family. So at the 110 Farm on Instagram and Life of Tom on YouTube, yeah, please do go and check them out. And there we are. So normally when these fields are fully planted, there is a very clear path that you follow. Obviously, as you can see, it's early days. I'm trying to take to a clear track where I can, so I don't veer too much. So I'm going to switch over to this one over here, as that will take us to the left towards the exit into another wooded area, which will then follow all the way down, veer to the left, and that'll take us up to another country road and past a pub, and we'll walk all the way down and cut through another set of fields, which will take us down to a small area on the edge of where I live and back towards the centre of town. As you can see, I'm just going to get to the end here and then I'll pan around and just take in the vastness of the fields, and then you just come slightly back across here. There's a clear thorn path. So you don't want to trample all over too much, but it's not always easy when the fields are this low and work's obviously been done. You want to try and keep as much as you can to the path that's been laid down. And you don't want to destroy anything that may be growing or planted. As I say, we're going to go to the left here. As you can see, it's just that time of the year where things are growing, some are overgrown, so you don't necessarily see the obvious paths that you would normally take to cut through. So you just look where you can for a clear, obvious and safe exit to where you're heading. So we're just going to go over to the left here and find our way through where we can. As I say, it's just that time of the year where It gets a little bit overgrown, not always cut back, but you are in the countryside. So there's the field. Say we've just come through from our right over there. And just have a listen. You may see the odd rumble of a car of the road behind me. So we're just going to dip through here. There, but fun times. I say there is normally an entrance down there, but there are obviously different ways of trying to get through. But obviously there is trees and brambles and things cut down, and you can go back along that back route, and that will take you back towards a slightly entrance to the way we've come up. So we're going to go around this way. As I said, we're going to follow this path down. You can go right, which cuts out a large portion of the piece we're going to walk, and you go down this wooded and muddy track down past a lovely house and some farm, and that brings you down, excuse me, to a lovely paved road, which we'll catch up on later on. It's very fortunate to be able to get out and walk this as things allow. As you can imagine, when we do get a lovely run of wet weather, this can turn very boggy, very wet, and it's definitely one for the old Wellington boots, so you don't get stuck or overly muddy. So we're very fortunate at the moment for it to be quite a nice warm October for the first couple of weeks thus far. Now, on the off chance anyone's actually got this far into the video, I know you're probably thinking that isn't the most exciting walk with vast, amazing views, but it's a countryside walk. It's very much a lovely walk. Gets you out in the fresh air, gets you out in the countryside. Obviously, there are walks out there that have incredible views. Did a walk with family a couple of weeks ago, a place called Beacon Hill, with some lovely views looking out over Highclere Castle. That's for those of you who drew your ITV. Obviously a well-known ITV show was filmed there. I believe it's now coming to an end. Was never one for me, Downton Abbey, but let's say there are just some nice, gentle, simple walks such as this one that you can just enjoy. You can go right or you can go left. We're going to go left, and so that'll bring us out to a road, and then we're going to go right past the pub, which I believe is under new landlord called the Hare and Hounds. Been here for many years. Many Christmas functions, family functions have been undertaken in there. But again, it's a very quiet part of the area. So we're going to go around to our right. That's the Hare and Hounds here. And we are going to walk past the signs that are beginning to pop up. Have done for quite some time now. Earlier these days. But Christmas bookings now available at the Hare and Hounds. It's just not quite sure why Christmas has come out so early this year. The shops, TVs, the pubs, is just trying to entice us all in early with a little bit of Christmas. Just going to jump up here because I can hear cars, and it's no good getting here on a lovely country walk for charity on a Sunday morning. Just seeing this road can get obviously some speed up on it. Just the nature of the type of road it is. This is the road that will take you out to Newbury, about 13 miles from here. Don't worry, we're not walking that far. I'm sure you're all thinking this video is far too long already. But we'll just let this car pass. So we've got a little bit of a clearer view, and then we're going to cross back over shortly. One thing I do recommend is that, like myself, try and wear trainers that don't have a mesh top when you're out walking at this time of the year with some lovely rain or dew in the grass. You get some lovely damp socks, but that's the joys of country walking and enjoying the vast fresh air and expansive nature. So we're going to cross back over because we're going to cut down through a path here. We're just going to walk past Oak Track, which does open up to sell its wares on certain days. Wednesdays to Saturday, Oak Track Farm Fresh and Family. Finished foods, oaktrack.co.uk if you want to have a look. We're going to cut through. As I do say, do try and keep to those shown paths, usually on most maps, or there will be arrows and signs at the entrance to the field to show you where you can and can't walk. Some are restricted for no motor vehicles, obviously. Some will allow pedestrians, walkers, as well as some will allow horses. Most will tell you at the beginning of what can and can't go down these paths, and obviously we want to follow the rules so that for many generations to come people can enjoy these paths, and hope that areas like this continue to be beautiful, open, green farmland and not purchased by the government, whoever and whenever they are in, through compulsory purchase to build homes and housing estates. The generations that come, should be able to enjoy Greenland, freshland, being out in the countryside and making the most of it. And those who have their farms be able to enjoy and pass that down with their families. Because as with a lot of things, you don't realise quite what you've got until it is gone. And if we continue to lose areas like this, the thing that makes this country what it is in terms of being able to get out and enjoy this will take away from that specialness that brings tourists and visitors and people who choose to move here and live here, made their lives here because of things like this. So for those of you who can, have a look at your maps, see what local byways and paths are nearby you, even just short ones. Go out and make the most of it. And as I said earlier, those of you who sadly can't get out, hopefully these videos will give you a nice view of the Hampshire countryside, and hopefully those one or two people that may or may not watch this will get out and record a few videos of themselves, and whether it be shorts or full-blown videos, and it just all helps those that unfortunately don't get the chance to get out and enjoy it. And yes, I know this is 28 minutes long and it's going to get longer. So if anyone has watched this, if anyone is watching it, whether it be in parts or you're fast forwarding it, or you got this far and you're now bored of my ramblings, thank you. And I know I mentioned it several times, but this is just an opportunity so that I can look back over the years. If I post these videos and see the walks I've done, see how things change, show people very quickly on here the sort of walk that can be done. So we're going to come down through this field, we're going to come down to a road in a place called Edam Alamein. to the full end. It's currently has a well-known home, and I believe I don't want to underdo it. Helps those who do live out here. I believe some with living difficulties, educational difficulties, and they will live out here. It has some ties back during the war, and there are some monuments and some statues and signs that detail its past. And I will probably bring this video to a close as we come towards the end of Enham before I start heading back towards into town. It becomes very urban with your Tesco's and your B&M's and a lot of traffic, so I won't put you through the beautiful sounds of cars bumbling by heading towards the town centre. I do believe it is possibly our local town's second Sunday market. I may or may not be right on that. Depends whether I've worked out the calendar right, and it is second Sunday, not third Sunday. But we do have the little markets on a Sunday. Local people, local wares, breads, fudges, the sort of thing that you'd expect to see. It's just something a little bit different. So, again, as you can see there is a yellow arrow indicating from Hampshire County Council the path to take, and down here through this gate, or round this gate, as you will see. Just a wide view, the expansive areas that we are very privileged to be in. It's nice to have such warm autumnal weather to be able to still get out, depending on which weather forecast long term you read. It could be quite wet or quite a frosty cold winter. Obviously it's hard to tell. These are obviously just forecasts, but you just don't know. I think memory serves correct, it was quite wet last winter. Much prefer a cold winter. At least you can wrap up from that and still get out. You don't want to be out and soaked wet through from that wet rain, as we call it. Again, just come down here. You can go, if you're driving, out to your left, and obviously that'll take you out towards Newbury. To the right will take us back towards the centre of town. As I say, please do be aware if you are out walking and enjoying some of these paths, and do be aware obviously of your surroundings. The signs are up. If it does say dogs on leads, then please do adhere to that for wildlife, livestock, and also for your own safety. That's some of the homes over there. I'm going to stay on this hand side. Obviously do be aware that there are speed restrictions, so hopefully people will adhere to those. So if you do need to cross over, just honestly, sounds simple, but I believe everything, as the bins say there, I believe it is 30 down here, just for those that live locally. That some obviously do need to come across this road and aren't necessarily as quick as others. And there is a little shop just down here on the right hand side where they do visit, and a local town or town hall, village hall, where they have events and activities. There is a local charity shop as well that's open during the week. As you can see, it's quite a busy road. Takes you in and out of the local area. As I said, Enham Trust are primarily the main charity, and people that do live out here. Enham Trust supporting disabled people to live, work and enjoy life. They've been going since 1921. As I say, this area does tie back many years. We will cross over here very briefly. Follow my rules to make sure don't get hit. There are some gates down here that tie back many years to many locations. But as I said, as you come out, you can come across the fields and you can follow this road. It'll take you back into the town, but I won't take you all that way. So these are the Alamein gates. So I'll just put this on here so you can have a pause and a read. But essentially, the Alamein Sports Club in Cairo was opened late in 1943. This entrance was graced by 3 sets of large gates presented by the Royal Navy, the Royal Air Force and the Royal Artillery. And these are those gates. And they were sit here. Fortunately, the building behind does seem abandoned, and hopefully one day someone will do something and restore these buildings and these gates in themselves to the rightful place where they mean and are of good use. But you've got such historical facts as those, you want to see them enjoyed and maybe given a little bit of love, because things like that don't last forever, and we should appreciate and make the most of those while we can. I'm just going to walk down here to another monument. We'll stay on this side under the trees. There's a garage to our right as well. I've never walked out here during the working week, so I don't know if that is still technically active. It's very retro black wooden sign up there. And I see this little spa shop and post office. Many times the individuals in there have been put up and won awards for their service to the local area. So well done to them, it's nice to hear. And then got the hall over there. Yeah, there's a little bit of love to paint on stuff, but as with a lot of areas, unfortunately, these things take time and money. But these areas just sadly don't have to wake up and liven up some of these buildings. They all serve a purpose and they help and bring enjoyment to those who live locally. There's the local Adam Trust charity shop. Again, one day we'll walk out of Journal, we can have a look, see if there's interesting items in there. See if there's any LPs, any records to add to the collection. There's one of very few stone bus stations, or bus stops, excuse me. This shelter are private property. It can only be used by persons waiting for the bus. It's to stop anyone loitering or misusing it. But you don't get many bus stops built like this with their thatched roof in stone. So it's nice to see, and hopefully it will continue to be maintained. So we're going to come down here to this monument, and this is probably where we're bringing close to this video. It is 42 minutes long. This just shows you there is actually a heritage trail that you can follow. This just gives you a brief history of Enham and its past. And this will send you board to board and give you information. And I'll bring you to a close on this gentleman. So if you've watched this, thank you. If you watched some of this, then you won't hear this, but thank you, and I'll see you again.